Welcome to yet another session, Module 9, Lesson 5, Solving Systems of Equations Algebraically. And in this example, we're going to concentrate more on solving systems using elimination. So when we look at elimination, we have to look at two equations, equation 1 and equation 2. Then you look at the variables and see what are the common multiples of 3 and 2? And we know that 3 and 2, if you multiply them, you should get 6. So you look for your lowest common multiple. You look for your lowest common multiple, LCM, of 3 and 2. And 3 and 2 will be 6. So in order to get 6, you multiply the first equation by 3 and you multiply the second equation by 2. Therefore, you would get 6x in your first equation and 6x in your second equation. Because both are positive, then you subtract. The rule for subtraction is you change the sign of the second equation and add. So this would mean that positive 6x will now become negative 6x, thus allowing us to cancel both these variables. Negative 8 becomes positive 8. So this becomes 23 when we add. And negative 20 will become positive 20. And therefore gives us the answer of 23. So divide by 23 on both sides and we are left with x is equal to 1. And we know in order to solve we have to substitute y in the equation and our resultant will be 2x plus 5 multiplied by 1 is equal to 1. 2x plus 5 is equal to negative 1, taking us to 2x is equal to positive 1 minus 5, giving us 2x is equal to negative 4. Divide by 2 on both sides, we are left with x is equal to negative 2. So this system, the solution for this system is x is negative 2 and y is 1. So if we look at the example number 10, this is a very easy example because we have positive and negative and both of them will be 0. So when we subtract here, negative x is equal to negative 2, divide by negative 1 on both sides, and therefore x will be equal to negative 2. X will be negative 2. Sorry, this won't be negative 2, this will be positive 2 because negative 2 divided by negative 1 will give us positive 2. X is equal to positive 2, which means that in your equation, when you are solving, you would use x is equal to negative 2 to find the value of y. Now moving ahead. Example 6, elimination where there is not exactly one solution, which means that it has no solution. Once again, use elimination to solve the system of equations. 8x plus 21y is equal to 14. That's equation 1. So you would leave equation 1 as it is because we know that if you your LCM for 6 and 18 is 18. So we can multiply the 6 by negative 3, multiply by negative 3 and it would give us 18. So when we multiply this, it gives us 6, negative 3 multiplied by 6 gives us negative 18x minus 21y is equal to 6. This means 18, this allows us to cancel positive 18x and negative 18x, and we get positive 21 cancelling with negative 21. Therefore, we end up with 0 is equal to 8, and we know that 0 can never be equal to 8. Therefore, this system has no solution. If we look at number 11, if you multiply the first equation by negative 6 and your second equation by 2, you would find that the first equation cancels the first half of the equation, which is negative 42x minus 12y, cancels with 42x plus 12y. Therefore, we have 0 is equal to negative 12, and we know that this is not possible. 0 cannot be equal to negative 12. Therefore, this system also has no solution. So moving ahead, positive 2y, negative 2y, we know will cancel very easily. Then you look at examples and you start checking, what is the rule? What do I have to do to ensure that I would be able to solve the equation? So look at the numbers that are given to you. If you've got negative 2y and plus 3y, you know that you should get your LCM here is 6. So you will multiply one equation by 3 and one equation by 2, and it would give you 6. So your y would eliminate here. In an example like number 14, if you solve the example and you read 0 is equal to 0, this means that this this solution has an infinite number of solutions, right? This means that this equation has infinite number of solutions. In number 12, when you try number 12 out, you may reach a fraction. Remember, if you have 7 and 3, you need to reach the LCM of 21. So you will multiply your first equation by 7 and your second equation by 3, and therefore 21 and 21 will eliminate. Number 9. To work out number 9, you can look at multiplying the first equation by 3 and the second equation by 2, as I've previously explained. And when you are working as usual, once you find the value of x, you will have to substitute and find the value of y, and thereafter you find the solution. When you find the solution, then you will determine whether it has infinite number of solutions, no solution, or just one solution. Remember, every accomplishment starts with a decision to try. All the best, and see you in our next video.